First here at 6, in less than 5 days, the federal government will shut down unless Congress can come to an agreement on spending. Good evening, I'm Lisa Rose. Steve will be back next week. Joe McLean explains the impact a shutdown could have on services like WIC that thousands of people rely on.
Missouri administers the Women, Infant, and Children's Supplemental Nutrition Program. Essentially, it works like food stamps for low-income mothers and young children. But that program is funded with federal dollars, meaning a federal government shutdown would eventually see those benefits cut off. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services says that if the federal government were to shut down this Saturday night, Missouri's WIC program has enough food funding to maintain people's benefits until mid-February. That's less than 6 months of runway. Meanwhile, the funding for administrative costs would dry up by mid-November if more funds aren't allocated before the shutdown. DHSS says that funding is needed to enroll new participants, provide nutrition and breastfeeding education, and actually issue the food benefits. A department spokesperson said, quote, "The outlook for WIC services after mid-November, if a shutdown is implemented, will depend on the amount of funding that is able to be dispersed by the USDA Mountain Plains Regional Office prior to a shutdown." The department said that the overall impact is also going to depend on how long a potential shutdown lasts. According to congressional research, Missouri has more than 36,000 civilian federal employees who would most likely be furloughed during a shutdown. Union officials tell me those workers have been bracing themselves to go without pay.
We are working on collecting resources in communities where we have government employees for food banks, assistance with utility bills. If we go even a whole pay period, this community can be devastated when it comes to businesses, banking programs.
Republicans control the House of Representatives, so it's up to that conference to agree on a spending deal amongst themselves or cut a deal with Democrats in order to keep the government functioning. A spokesperson for Missouri Congresswoman Ann Wagner released a statement saying, quote, "The Congresswoman does not support shutting down the government and will be working in Washington, D.C. this week to ensure Congress can get our federal spending under control, secure our border, and protect Missouri families from having any potential shutdown disrupt their lives." In Jefferson City, Joe McLean, KY3 News.